Hello and welcome to Money Markets and More with me, Dominic Frisby. Today's piece is called Money Illusion and the Fragile Fantasy of Modern Currency. Very quickly, before we start, don't forget my book, Life After the State, my first book, many readers' favourites. It's back in print. I'll put a link to in the description. And don't forget also the Edinburgh Festival. If you are in Scotland this August, look out for my show. I'll put a link to that in the tickets as well. It's a lecture, one of my lectures with funny bits, all about the history of mining. And I'm doing it in the room in which Adam Smith completed Wealth of Nations. Right, here we go. I was at a drinks party in 2011, 2012, something like that, and I had the ear of Andrew Feldman, aka Baron Feldman of Elstree, and he used to be the chairman of the Conservative Party. He of swivel-eyed loons fame, although he never actually said that, by the way. And Andrew's a friend of mine, and I said to him, tell George Osborne to buy back the gold that Gordon Brown sold. At these prices? Andrew smiled with a mix of incredulity, amusement and polite condescension, and I said yes, it might be good publicity, or do it secretly and then announce it afterwards. The important thing is getting the gold back. We will need it at some point. Why not just quantitatively ease the money into existence and buy it back? I can't even say it. Quantitatively ease the money into existence. They do that for buying bonds. Andrew laughed at my joke, which wasn't a joke, and then wandered off in search of someone more sane to talk to. Now, given that government has this extraordinary power to create money out of nothing, why don't they just print money and buy hard assets with it? Park that thought for a moment. About a month ago, 2 months maybe, I was at Liz Truss's book launch. Aren't you impressed with all my name dropping? And I ran into Mark Littlewood, who is the former director of the IEA, and he now runs Popcon. And I started bending his ear about the media's failure to report on the Bank of England and how it had shafted Truss with its advanced notice of gilt sales, quantitative tightening, which began the day before Kwasi Kwarteng's budget and led to a collapse in the gilt market. The blame for which was then left at Kwasi Kwarteng's doorstep. And Mark nodded. Now, do you think I don't know? Said Liz. Now, I would love to be able to grill Andrew Bailey in public. This is what I said. Or just ask him one question when lots of people are watching. And I know exactly what I'd ask him. And it's this. If the Bank of England can print money, why do we need taxes? And Mark laughed, thinking I was asking him that question, and replied straight away, money illusion. Now, money illusion is one of those economic terms that is pretty self-explanatory, but here's an example. Most of us know £100 does not buy you today what it bought you 10 years ago, but we still think in terms of past prices, and old people do this more for obvious reasons. So a worker might feel great with a 5% pay rise, but if inflation is 7%, he's actually earning less than before. And this has been an ongoing process for decades, with the result that in real terms, wages are lower. And so here's the Wikipedia definition, edited by me, of money illusion. In economics, money illusion or price illusion is a cognitive bias where money is thought of in nominal rather than real terms. In other words, the face value, the nominal value of money, is mistaken for its purchasing power, its real value, at a previous point in time. And the term was coined by Irving Fisher in his book Stabilizing the Dollar, and it was also popularized by John Maynard Keynes early in the 20th century. And Fisher also wrote a book on the subject called The Money Illusion in 1928. So Mark and I both doubted that Bailey would give that as an answer, even if he thought it, which we doubted he would. If governments started printing money and buying assets, many would start questioning money, and faith in fiat money might quickly evaporate. If governments worldwide started doing it, e.g. Britain prints money and starts buying land in France, you are in race to the bottom territory. And it would be a race to the bottom for fiat money. So even if Bailey thought money illusion was the answer, he certainly wouldn't say it, because that in itself undermines fiat. So modern currency has nominal value, but it doesn't have intrinsic value. It relies on illusion and the law to function. The more you debase it, the less likely that illusion is to hold. So maybe money delusion is more accurate. And obviously, the backing of the law makes a great difference, as does the fact that taxes must be collected in this money. But boy, is the system vulnerable. Illusions can last a long time, but when they shatter very quickly, and then there is nothing. I don't say the system will pop, it's been going on for a long time, but I do observe that it very easily could. And that is why I recommend both gold and Bitcoin. Both are money in and of themselves. One is the product of nature and the other is the product of extraordinary amounts of computer power. Neither relies on anyone else. And if you're interested in buying gold, then you should check out my recent report. I have a feeling it's going to come in very handy. There's a link in the comments. There's also a link to my guide to buying Bitcoin. And my recommended bullion dealer is, as always, the Pure Gold Company. I'll put a link to them in the comments as well. Don't forget my book, Life After the State. Don't forget the Edinburgh Fringe this August. That is all. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, goodbye.